Imagine if you could travel back in time and explore the mysteries of medieval India, not as an Indian, but as someone from a faraway land. What would you see, hear, and feel? Let's dive into the world of legendary travelers whose curiosity brought them to India from different corners of the world. The medieval period witnessed a vibrant influx of foreign travelers to India, drawn by its rich trade, diverse culture, and powerful empires. These travelers, from Arab historians and Persian scholars to European merchants and envoys, documented their experience in detailed travelogues, offering invaluable insights into India's political, social, religious, and economic life. Figures like Al-Masudi, Ibn Battuta, Marco Polo, Al-Biruni, and Bernier observed courts, commerce, caste structures, and customs across dynasties from Delhi Sultanate to the Mughals. While their accounts are rich in historical value, they also reflect certain cultural biases and limitations in understanding India's complex society. Let's discuss about the foreign travelers who visited in medieval times chronologically. So first, Al-Masudi visited India and he was an Arab traveler. He was basically an historian who described society and trade. Then Al-Biruni visited India. He was from Persia. He was a scholar who studied Indian sciences. Then Marco Polo visited India. He was from Venice, Italy. He was basically an explorer who described trade and economy. Ibn Battuta visited India during 1333 to 1347 AD. He was from Morocco. He was a judge who wrote about Delhi Sultanate. Then Shihabuddin al-Umari, he was from Syria. He visited India during 1348 AD. Then Niccolo de' Conti, he was from Italy. He visited India during 1420 to 1421 AD. He was a merchant who described Vijayanagar Empire. Then Abdur Razak, he was from Persia. He was an ambassador who wrote about Calicut. Then Athanasius Nikitin, he was from Russia. He visited India during 1470 to 1474 AD. He was a merchant who described people and trade. Then Duarte Barbosa, he was from Portugal. He visited India during 1500 AD. He was a writer who wrote about castes and trade. The next traveler who visited India during medieval time is Domingo Pais. He was basically a traveler who witnessed Vijayanagar Empire. Then Fernão Nunes, who was also from Portugal, he visited India during 1535 to 1537 AD. He was a horse trader who described Hindu customs. Then Ralph Fitch, he was from England. He was a merchant who described Mughal cities. He visited India during the time period of Mughal Empire. Then William Hawkins, he was from England. He visited India during 1608 to 1611 AD. He also visited India during the time period of Mughal Empire during the time of Jahangir. Then Sir Thomas Roe, he was also from England. He also visited India during 1615 to 1619 and he also wrote about Mughal court. Then Peter Mundy, Tavernier, Bernier and Menucci. These four travelers visited India during the time period of Shah Jahan. Tavernier was basically a gem trader who shared diamond stories. Manucci was a doctor who wrote about Mughal history. Bernier was a physician who described Mughal society. Let's discuss one by one about each foreign travelers in India during medieval times. So first, we'll discuss about notable travelers coming to India from Arab and Morocco. So, first is Al-Masudi. So in 957 AD, Al-Masudi, who was basically an Arab historian, sailed to India. He wrote Meadows of Gold, describing Indian society and religion. He described intricate temples, diverse languages, and a society thriving on commerce. Did you know he was among the first to talk about India's massive maritime trade? Then Ibn Battuta, who wrote Rihala, he was a Moroccan traveler. Why would a Moroccan leave everything behind and travel across deserts and seas? Curiosity. Ibn Battuta stayed in Delhi's court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, serving as a judge. His book Rihala still makes history lovers' hearts race. So he wrote about taxation, administration, festivals, religious practices, and daily life. There were also Italian travelers who visited India during medieval times. They were Marco Polo, Pietro della Valle, Peter Mundi, Niccolo de' Conti, and Manucci. So first, we'll discuss about Marco Polo. So Marco Polo's journey from Venice took him to South India. He described markets, rich fabrics, and spices that could change the taste of Europe forever. What did he see that surprised him? The multi-million-dollar trade and the complex society of Kakatiyas and Pandyas. His book, The Book of Sir Marco Polo, documents thriving trade and economic activity. Pietro della Valle visited cities like Cambay, Ahmedabad, and Calicut during Jahangir's rule. His travelogue, The Travels of Pietro della Valle in India, provides useful cultural and geographical insights. Peter Mundi travelled during Shah Jahan's reign. His records Mughal court life, Banjaras, and common people's living standards. Notably, he was the first Englishman to mention tasting tea in China. Niccolo de' Conti, he was a traveller from Venice, Italy, who spent time in the Vijayanagar Empire under Devarai I and Devarai II. Devarai I and Devarai II. He saw Indian festivals, massive temples, and even the practice of sati. Did you know he spent 25 years travelling, long enough to see these two emperors? Then Manucci. He was basically an Italian traveller who served in the Mughal court, including as a physician to Aurangzeb. His work offers rare insights into court life, politics, and customs. His work shows not just facts, but his own opinions. Sometimes his words were colored with prejudice, calling local customs barbarous, reminding us that even travelers can be biased. Let's discuss about notable travelers from Persia, Al-Biruni and Abdur Razak. Al-Biruni joined Mahmud of Ghazni's raids, but unlike other invaders, his eyes were searching for wisdom. He wrote Tehqiq-e-Hind, a treasure chest of Indian religion, science, astronomy, and society. He visited India during 1024 to 1030 AD. Abdur Razak visited India during 1443 to 1444 AD. He landed in Calicut and marveled at the spice markets full of pepper and merchants from all around the world. He also talks about the maritime trade networks. Shihabuddin al-Umari was from Syria. He visited Delhi Sultanate during Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign. His writings contain geopolitical and administrative details of the Delhi Sultanate. Athanasius Nikitin's detailed accounts of Indian people, religion, and trade show us that the world then was a melting pot, just like today's globalized world. He also observed political conditions, trade activities, social customs, and religious practices. He wrote The Travels of Athanasius Nikitin, which gives us insights into the 15th century India. Then Linschoten was a Dutch traveler who provided a valuable account of South India's social and economic life. Francisco Pilsart stayed at Agra, providing a vivid account of trade in various cities. Travelers who was from Portugal was Duarte Barbosa, Domingo Paes, and Fernão Nunes. Barbosa lived in India for 16 years. His writings detailed caste hierarchies, Vijayanagar's wealth, and bustling port cities like Calicut and Goa. He spent 16 years here writing about everything from food to the castes. Whereas Domingo Paes he visited during the time period of 1520 to 1522 AD. He visited Vijayanagar Empire during Krishna Dev Rai's reign. He described the empire's prosperity, administration, military and market economy. Fernão Nunes observed Hindu festivals like Diwali and Holi. He praised women's active social roles and knowledge in astrology and wrestling, noting Vijayanagar's cultural dynamism. Let's discuss about the notable travelers from England. These were William Hawkins, Sir Thomas Roe, and John Fryer. William Hawkins was an agent of the East India Company. So can you imagine being the first ever Englishman in Jahangir's court? Hawkins earned the title English Khan. He negotiated trade privileges from Jahangir. His success led to the establishment of the English factory at Surat. Sir Thomas Roe was also sent by James I. Roe's Journal of the Mission to the Mughal Empire is a vital primary source on Jahangir's court diplomacy and trade. William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roe were known as the early British diplomats. John Fryer visited during Shah Jahan's reign, recording architecture and medicine. The travelers who were from France were Tavernier, Bernier, Ralph Fitch. So Tavernier's travels teach an important lesson. Sometimes curiosity can make you rich. He visited diamond mines and brought the legendary blue diamond to Europe. Bernier was a French physician who stayed in India for 12 years during Aurangzeb's reign. He wasn't afraid to compare Mughal India to Europe, sometimes praising, other times criticizing unfair customs or policies. Bernier's observations gave Europe one of the clearest picture of Aurangzeb's court. Ralph Fitch was an English merchant who visited Patna, Agra, Allahabad and Lahore. He described Akbar's administration. Religious tolerance and India's commercial wealth. He called Agra and Fatehpur Sikri larger than London. His trade reports helped England challenge Portuguese dominance and establish the East India Company in 1600 AD. So why the stories of these foreign travelers matter? They described Indian society, monuments, markets, and belief systems to the world. Their books are like time machines, showing us life, trade, and cultures 500 to 1000 years ago. Without them, we would have many missing pages in India's story. Their curiosity allowed us to ask, what was life really like then? But wait, were they always right? Here's where curiosity gets tricky. Many travelers had cultural biases, language barriers. Also, they used to focus more on elite sections. Regarding the cultural bias, Some saw India through a European lens, misunderstanding or judging what was new to them. Also, if we talk about language barriers, the travelers often didn't fully understand local language or customs. Regarding the elite focus, they spent time in royal courts, not with everyday people. So, village life and common stories were rarely told. So, when you explore a new place, remember these adventurers. Sometimes their curiosity led to discovery, sometimes to misunderstanding, but always they brought pieces of India's forgotten world to light. So, the next time you see a map, ask yourself, if I traveled to India 1,000 years ago, what would I see? And what stories would I tell? That's the spirit that made these foreign travelers legends, the original storytellers of India's history. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more historical videos. Until next time, study smart, stay curious and keep exploring. Thank you.